So, the last time I streamed, actually in between that and now, I have done some refactoring. So I've just refactored some function names, variable names, and constants. I mean their names and also their scope a little bit. So that's why some things may look a little different, like this, but it's just refactoring, so it doesn't actually change any of the functionality. It's just to clean up the code a little bit. So I'm going to start now with starting the game library. So I've made a note of that, starting game library, game H and game C, source files. Yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and make those now. And this still works as it did before. I can also control the light. So I'll start with game.c. Just save that, game.h. And the inclusion blockers. So I'm going to start with writing sorry about that, the game intro function, which will be called outside of this library. This does not take any arguments or return any values. And for now it's just going to show the text. So I'm also going to make a function for writing the game text. So that's going to use the word wrapping string display function on the LCD, but it's just going to start it at the very top of the LCD, so the very top of the screen. And the reason for that is just because I think when I write some text in the game, like the welcome message, that sort of thing is always going to start at the top, so I won't have to write the x and y coordinates every time. It's just sort of a helper function, but very, very useful. So that's going to be used like this. And I'm calling it Slim Quest for now, the name of the actual game. I may change that, but it seems like a good name for now. And after displaying that, I think I'm also going to write, actually this function, or maybe not this function, but I'm also going to have a function so that it writes the text slowly to the LCD, so it sort of looks like someone's writing the text as you're reading it. So, you know, like if someone were to be actually typing the letters, then you would see them show up one by one instead of just the whole text appearing at once. But I probably won't do that right now. And then it's going to be a start option. And for now that will just be a string. So I do need the LCD library. So this is start. And for the options, I'm thinking it depends how much space I have for each after each message, but for the options like north, south, east, and west, I could have it so that north is at the top, west is left, east is at the right, and then south is at the bottom. And that will take up 3 lines. So if I have 3 lines to spare, I'll do that. And then the this symbol, just a right triangle bracket, will show which option is currently selected. And so I should actually make some functions so that I can write an option at a specific location on the LCD, though it may depend on the option. So for now I'm just going to hard code it, since I don't know where they should be yet. But this should be, I'm going to put it on the second last line for the Y. So that should be 5, since 6 is the last. Where's 5 the last? Now I forget. I think there's 6 lines total. Yeah, so 5 is the last, so I'll put it on 4. Second last line, since it starts at index 0, and I want it sort of in the middle. So I'm just gonna say 30. And then here. So for the game intro, this is where I can actually initialize the LCD and everything. So initialize the LCD, clear the LCD, the light depends. I may, I could actually add a photo cell so that the backlight of the LCD is actually determined by how bright it is in the room or how dark. So I'm just going to leave that there for now. And I'm going to comment this out. This is the game intro. And after it writes the start, I mean, this is where I would prompt for user input by means of a button. But for now, since I don't have a button, I'm just going to use a short delay. So that delay will be 2 seconds. Yes, so I need that game text function. And this will be similar to LCD write wrap. Alright, let's see if I made any typos. I forgot to include the new library. Oh, right. Right. I need this again. This should actually be in the source file. If it can be. Maybe it can't. Nope. So I'll run that. That looks good. So after the short delay, then it should display the first. So I'm going to have to make a map for the game. I'm going to use a struct for this. Let me just try to position the start. That looks a little better. So, struct. And this would be called game map. And this would be defined. Let's see. Let's see, so it's going to need an array. Should plan this out well. Actually, I just want to check. Oh, so it's streaming in 1080p now. Hopefully the stream looks a bit better. I tried to make the LCD a bit more visible. So instead of just making the struct right now, I'm gonna see how I would use it. Actually, I'm probably gonna use it here first. So I want to display text based on where the player is in the map currently. And the map is going to start off at, well, so it is going to have location. And I'm just going to make it start with it just 5, so there's 5 rooms in the map. I think map size is a little ambiguous, I would say rooms. Because we'll think of it as you're inside of a dungeon, and so there's different rooms you can enter based on which direction you go. So if we start with 5, let's say you start in the center, then you can either go up, down, left, or right. So you're in one, and there's 4 more. So getting room text based on the map. The location, sorry, that should just be an integer. And I'll leave it as an integer for now, because maybe signed might actually be a good thing if I want to use negative numbers for some of the map locations. And it's going to start off at 0. We should have a private helper function in here just to set up the map. This is basically the story text, so depending on what room you're in, text will be different. when you enter a new room, it's a good idea to clear the LCD, because yeah, because even the options, if they're the same, they'll just be rewritten, and if they change, you want to have the LCD cleared. And I'll have a function just to bring up those standard options. I can do that now, actually. So what are these called? It's basically the choices. Yeah, sure. So the standard choice is going to be going, well, actually, I guess standard is ambiguous, but it's the walking choice. So you can either walk north, south, east, or west, but this does depend on where you are. So I am going to change this. This will take an argument. Because if you're in a room that's at the farthest east that you can go, then going east shouldn't be an option. Or it can still be an option, but if you select it, yeah, I think I'll go that way. So if east is an option, but you can't go east anymore when you select it, it's just going to say, you know, like you ran into a wall or something. So we have north, south, east, and west. And this is at probably around 20. Okay, not bad. Oh, right. So that should be number 6. And east can move over a little bit. So I guess I'm not going to change the font, because that's going to change all these numbers. And even if they weren't hard-coded in like this, and I had them in constants, I would still have to go and change all those values, and really you can only experiment and see what looks best. So I'm probably not going to change the font, but it's a nice font. It should do well. Okay, that's looking good. Of course, I'm not going to just hard code those in. This is to show which of the walking choices are selected. Just trying to think what to call that. Select walk choice sounds like it's actually making the selection, but it's this is just for showing which one the cursor is on. So I guess cursor walk choice. And yeah, this should be Okay. That's for the cursor locations. Let's see. The default option will be north. Oh, it's too close. Should be -6. Okay. And just make sure the others work. So north, let's do the west. Good. East. Good. And south. Okay. So that's all good. This start is only going to happen once, so I'm not going to worry about its values for now. This is the main map for the game. Setup map, game room text. Okay, good. I may actually make this variable outside of the function, so it's local to the file, so that I can call a function like go to the east room and not have to pass the game map every time. As well as here, setup map. So yeah, just make that there. Actually, don't even need that now. Okay, so that's looking pretty good. So I have sort of a map with very few options. You can only be in room 0. And the storyline is great. It says you're in room 0. Oh man, that's exciting. Room 0. Wow. Okay, so let's just, I'm kind of curious how much I can really fit there in room 0. Because if I say too much, it runs down into line 4. Well, line index 3. I mean, I'm actually thinking it's going to be more like it shows the text, writes it on the screen, like with that nice visual, like slow writing kind of thing. So that's when it says the story, and then it just switches to where it just asks you for your option and shows the choices. So that's what I'm going to change here, where it always just says the same thing. So this is actually a different function that I'm writing. Yeah. Alright, hang on. this is more like, what's that? Game room text is when it says the story. And this is just the standard walking choice text. And for now, I don't see a reason to use it outside of this library. Yeah. So make it private for now. And this is just okay. That's not quite right. Because the cursor for other options, the default is not going to be north, because that's not going to be an option. Because I may have sometimes when the option is like yes and no, or attack or run. Well, I guess games like this usually use flee. So let's see. Display walk choice. So you're in a room, then you have the option to walk, and this is the part where I want the text to be written onto the screen in that slow writing feature. Now, I don't see a reason to have this outside of the function or this library. I'd like to keep those header files small if I can. So game text animated. speed. Where should that be? It's a pretty general option. I'm gonna put it in here for now. So this is in milliseconds how long the delay for each lever is. So let's say 50. This is animated, and that means here should be animated, and any place where it actually sends the character. Okay. Yeah, so let's try that out. I have to take that out. Or I did not. Oh, because of the order. I see. Sorry about that. So, right, so where was I? Game text. Oh, okay. Because unless I'm using it before I'm actually declaring it. Much better. That was a little too long. Also, when I show the text, you should stay on the screen for a little bit. So this can be, I don't know, about 1 second or 2 seconds. I should probably slow down the speed a bit. That was a little fast. That's looking pretty good. I'm going to move over north and south a little bit. Yeah, let's try 30. Yeah, I like that animation. That's looks like it's writing the text. That's always nice. Okay, so that looks good. This is that came from the text. Yeah, I know what I should do. So it should be more like this. What am I trying to say here? I'm going to say the text at a certain room. Okay, so hang on. I want to actually initialize it. Oh, I should be setting this up in this function anyway. Yeah. Let's say the map is something like this. Alright, and I need a function for changing the room. So just, if I leave it like this, it's not really clear the spatial order of the rooms. So if I'm in room 0 and I go north, which room would I end up in? Right. So so this should be done differently. So I could have x and y coordinates. It's probably the best way to do it. Yeah. In which case 1, 1 would be the starting room if I'm in the center. and there would be some empty rooms. If I do only have 5, I could just fill them out and have 9. This is a very linear progression of rooms. Yeah, I think this way it can work. Whoops, where am I? So this is going to be the south room. So the south would be x1 and y2. Of course, it's not finished because where I actually use it, the location should be now an x and y coordinate. As opposed to a single number. I mean, if I wanted to save memory, I could have it as a single byte, and then just use, or sorry, a single word or a single byte, and just yeah, a single byte would actually give me a lot of options too. So my x could be here and y here, or vice versa. But this way is a little easier to read in the code. just for testing, I can try seeing the other rooms. So there's north room should be 1, 0. Yep. Just gonna move this down to 1 second for now. On the west room should be 0, 1. Good. And 2 and 1. Perfect. And 1 and 2. South room. Okay. And move the map height. So I should actually be setting up each room here. Even if there's nothing in it, then it should be the empty string, because it may not be initialized to that. So 0, 1, and 2. Oh, whoops, I'm thinking the other way. So 0, 1, 0, and 2. There, so this is going top left, top middle, top right, left, middle, right, and bottom left, bottom middle, bottom right. If I did that correctly, which looks like I did. So some rooms may be empty. If the room is empty, then the text of that room will be blank. We could actually make it so there are no rooms that you can't enter. And the only time that you can't go in a certain direction is if you're at the edge of a map. That may make more sense, or at least be a little easier. Oh, thank you, Joshua. I should add in the changing the option, or I mean changing the choice selection, because once I add a button, every time I press the button, well, every time I press one of the buttons, it should change the selection. based on the menu that it's in. Although it's going to be a little hard to test without a button, because even if I have delays, I mean, I can make it just cycle through them, but it's better if there's an exit point as well, which would be the other button, the select button. So, and I can already imagine how to do that. It's not very complicated. So I'll leave that for now. So we have the start, set up the map, game room text, there should actually be some text before the first room, because if you when you first start the game and you're in this room, in this case the middle room, the story should be something, and then if you re-enter the room, it shouldn't say that story again, it shouldn't say that text again, it should say the room text. So I need some sort of story text. I'll just put a placeholder for now. And I'm thinking for the future I could also randomize the map a little bit. I mean, I can't randomize the text. Like, certain things can be randomized though, and should be probably. Like if you attack an enemy, or if you try to run from an enemy, it shouldn't just be 100% certain damage or 100% run rate. But I can't really easily randomize the text for the room. Though I could change the order of the rooms, but that's things for the future anyway. Oh, I forgot to clear the screen for those. Actually, should it be cleared here, or in the place before I call the function? If I'm writing some game text, is there ever a point where I would not want the screen to be cleared? I think there is. Like if you're in a battle or something and the menu is not going to change, then it would look kind of weird if the menu vanishes while it's showing the text and then reappears at the end. So I will call LCD clear outside of that. Oh, that went by fast. Oh, right. No delay. Cool. So I've made a lot of changes now, so I should commit all this. So what have I done? Create game library and start implementing, I don't know, the game itself. I don't know if I would say gameplay. I guess it's sort of gameplay. I don't know. What do you call this? This is just I'll just say implementing game. And looks like I've lost internet connection. So I'm just gonna go restart my internet real quick. Oh, of course I can't push. I don't have internet. Okay, so I was just making the commit. Yeah. So that's done. That's just some notes. I can make some notes for next time. I can also get rid of this. That was just testing. So after this game intro, this is not a loop of any sorts, of course. So that's when we're done with the setup, the main setup. And we'll go into loop so that we can actually start the game. It's not really even necessary, but it's kind of the Arduino way, so I'm going to try to do it that way. I'll have to plan that out a little bit. Make a plan. Yep, that's there. It's kind of funny how the screen is so small. It really can't fit much text. So when I write something like the story plot, it writes like 2 or maybe 3 words per line. It just looks kind of funny. But it's cool that it can actually work. And I mean, I think it may be lower resolution than the micro view, if you guys have seen that. But the micro view is a smaller screen, so it is actually harder to read the text, even though it is brighter because it's an OLED. Whereas it's just an LCD with a kind of weird backlight. But I mean, that one's better for animations and stuff. This you could do animations, but text is pretty good on it. So yeah, I think I'm gonna stop for now. I need to get something to eat. So I'll just commit this, and I'll write the tasks later. It's just generally better to be explicit than implicit, and it's sort of just a habit of mine anyway. I mean, just like, why would I use, where is it? Like here, why would I use an unsigned 8-bit integer as opposed to a char for these? Because it is the same thing, but it means something a little bit different in this case, because this is not actually going to be used as a string, so I don't want to call it a character. So it's just about being explicit. Yeah, so that's it for now, and I'll continue at a later date. I don't know when.